Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nicola Doppio from Hub Innovazione Trentino. We are a technology transfer foundation which aims at connecting companies with researchers in order to incorporate research results and innovate better products and services. Welcome to the final event of the 2021 UX Challenge, which stands for User Experience Challenge. The UX Challenge is an innovation contest that connects companies with students and researchers in order to improve the user experience and the usability of digital and manufacturing products and services. We have been working the entire week along with the companies, students, and mentors, and this afternoon we will present you all the results that have been developed during the week. So first of all, thank you very much to all the participants that went through the entire week. We are live streaming this event on Facebook, so make sure you switch on the volume, you enlarge the screen, and you totally experience the presentations that we will soon show. Also, keep in mind that the live stream is a bit delayed with regards of the live that we are holding here on Zoom. Keep that in mind. If you want to comment, of course, feel free to do so. If you want to invite more people to join the event, feel free to share the link to the Facebook page of Hub Innovazione Trentino, where we are streaming the event. Very soon we will start with the presentation, but before entering the presentations and also the two very important keynote speakers that will join this afternoon, I would like to give the floor to Achille Spinelli, Provincial Minister for the Economic Development and Research and Labor, for the initial greetings. So we will switch to Italian for the time being. Grazie molte, Assessore Spinelli, per la sua disponibilità. Allora le do la parola per i saluti iniziali. Prego.
Allora, bene, benvenuti a tutti, grazie dottor Dotto per l'introduzione. È un piacere essere qui collegato con tutti i collegati appunto a questo evento di User Experience Challenge 2021. Abbiamo avuto un po' più di un anno fa l'occasione di partecipare fisicamente a un'altra esperienza. Era stato un momento particolarmente intenso, interessante e di successo, devo dire. Abbiamo qua riunito e cerco di salutare tutti in modo più completo persone, imprese che hanno voluto mettersi in competizione per arrivare a sviluppare nuovi prodotti, nuovi servizi e soprattutto una maggiore usabilità nell'ambito del digitale, appunto dei prodotti che loro offrono sul mercato. L'obiettivo è importante perché è un obiettivo di crescita, di innovazione per l'impresa, di crescita soprattutto di ricercatori, di scienziati, di mettere in funzione nuove leve con maggiore entusiasmo e visione, come i nostri studenti, i nostri migliori studenti dell'Ateneo Trentino. L'ambito digitale è chiaramente il futuro su cui tutti puntiamo, e i nostri centri di formazione e di ricerca sono sicuramente di altissimo profilo e adatti a poter essere di aiuto alle imprese, e questa è un'esperienza che sicuramente verrà replicata, e mi sembra anche all'estero sarà sicuramente un esempio. Le soluzioni proposte dai 100 esperti del sistema trentino mi sembrano molto utili per innovare l'interfaccia, appunto l'usabilità, il design e l'ergonomia di questi servizi digitali che le imprese offrono, e quindi un'occasione di crescita reciproca, culturale, ma anche dell'innovazione. E forse tutto questo, mi auguro, porterà a nuovo business, come sicuramente è nell'obiettivo delle imprese partecipanti. Piccole e medie imprese che hanno voluto mettersi in gioco e dare l'occasione a studenti e ricercatori di praticare le loro capacità, la loro invenzione. L'82% delle PMI italiane chiaramente rappresenta una quota grande nel nostro panorama di imprese e di economia, e quindi è importante dare loro occasioni di crescita e di innovazione anche con queste competizioni. Ringrazio IT che ha organizzato questo evento anche quest'anno con grande iniziativa, con grande capacità organizzativa, la volontà di creare anche connessioni, interconnessioni importanti da mettere a sistema con tutto il nostro sistema della ricerca, della scuola, dell'accademia e dell'innovazione in generale. Quindi sicuramente un buon lavoro a tutti e speriamo che vinca come sempre il migliore. Grazie.
Grazie mille Assessore Spinelli, grazie davvero anche per il supporto. We will now switch back to English and ovviamente Assessore resti con noi finché può, benvenuto. We will now switch back to English and I will give the floor to Professor Flavio De Florian, member of the Board of Directors of Hub Innovazione Trentino, for his own initial greetings. Professor De Florian, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Nicola. Also from my side, a warm welcome to everybody for this important event. This is the 4th edition of the UX Challenge, so it's really an event established in Trento dealing with innovation. The previous editions were very interesting, and I am sure that also this one will be very exciting for all the participants. This is probably the most international edition of this event because we have international partners. We have also international students attending to this event. And this event, it's part of an European Horizon project. And finally, it's also in the frame of the collaboration with the ECIU University, which is an important network of universities in Italy. I am here also representing the University of Trento, so I am really very, very happy to see that this collaboration is really producing some practical activities, some real events like this one concerning innovation. I would like also to thank our special guests, Daniele De Cia and Matteo Gratton, and I am very curious to attend the talks that we will have during the afternoon from these special guests. So I don't want to take too much time. It's just a warm welcome to and my best wishes for the rest of the afternoon. And I really think that this event will be also for the future something characterizing innovation in Trento. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor De Florian. So before entering the first keynote speech of the day from Daniele De Cia, I would like to show you a few slides here in order for you to fully understand what the UX Challenge is. So I'm sharing my slides now, and hopefully you will see them. Okay, very good. So the UX Challenge is basically a design sprint. The design sprint is a methodology that was invented at Google for supporting their own digital startup to develop solutions to digital design problems and challenges. So whatever regard the products having a digital interface. That's what we have done throughout this week. The teams of solvers have been focusing the challenges that were presented by the companies, and then they went through a ideation and decision process that brought them to prototype a potential solution that were also tested with real people, real users, potential customers yesterday, basically. And the results were presented this morning to the companies. So we were collecting the videos from the solvers later on this morning as well. We still have to see the videos, but we already know that the results are stunning. And as Professor De Florian were mentioning a few moments ago, this is the 4th edition of the UX Challenge. We have supported the 12 companies. 8 of them are from the autonomous province of Trento. We have 65 solvers. They are mainly university students. They are design, user experience design talents. We have 48 testers. They are like normal people, citizens that decided to take part in the UX Challenge as testers, as evaluators. And then, of course, we have 5 mentors that have been supporting the teams during the week. Also, we have the UX Challenge taking place not only in Trento, but also in 6 other European countries. And indeed, as Professor De Florian was mentioning, the UX challenge is taking place not only in Trento, but also in Oulu, Finland, in Estonia, in Lithuania, in Germany, and in Spain. And the reason why this is happening is because Hub Innovazione Trentino has been granted a European project aimed at rolling out the UX challenge across Europe to evaluate the impact of the challenge in the involved companies. We expect to observe an increase of the knowledge, the awareness about the companies, about user experience design and its benefits. So thank you very much, of course, to the European Commission for the trust in Hub Innovazione Trentino. And thank you very much, of course, to the other partners that took part that are taking part to the 200 SME Challenge project, especially Fondazione Bruno Kessler, which is overseeing the evaluation study, which utilizes a randomized control trial methodology. Also, we have students joining from other universities from the European Consortium of Innovative Universities, ECAU. Thank you so much for joining the UX Challenge from other countries and other universities. And as you may imagine, we have done this in a full remote and online setting. So everybody's taking part to the challenge from either home or their own office. Altogether, there were more than 150 participants, and we have been using solutions such as online whiteboards that we have developed to support teamworks and to support teamwork in a synchronized way. And I would like to thank very much the UX design agency Fightbeam for supporting us in developing this stunning template that will be utilized also in the other UX challenges across Europe. This couldn't be possible without our partners. As you may know, the UX challenge is an initiative that at Hub Innovazione Trentino we sort of orchestrate, but it's really an effort carried out by all these partners in the innovation ecosystem. Definitely University of Trento, Fondazione Bruno Kessler, Trentino Sviluppo, which are amongst our funding partners, but also Confindustria Trento, Artigianelli School, and C-Lab Trento, and the Digital Innovation Hub Trentino Alto Adige Sud Tirol. And we also have supporters, some of which are outside the Trentino province, UX Dolomiti Book Club, Associazione Architecta, and industrial clusters, Ditedi and Comet from Friuli Venezia Giulia, and CSMT Polo Tecnologico from Brescia. So thank you very much to these partners for making this happen. Okay, so I'll now stop sharing my screen because now it's time to give the floor to Daniele De Cia for the first keynote speech. Daniele De Cia will really introduce us to his own background, of course, but also to how user experience design techniques can be used in the manufacturing industry to impact on the design of products which are not strictly digital. Thank you very much, Daniele De Cia from NiEW. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Nicola, and good afternoon to all the participants. First of all, thank you for inviting me because it's a very interesting situation. Right after my speech, I will see a sequence of ideas coming from the work of designer, but starting from the real needs of people and companies. And according to my opinion, it's not so widespread as a practice. So initiatives like UX Challenge are very, very important. So I would like to start from the very deep feeling that this kind of initiative give to me. I've always think about that being a designer means to have a special attitude, to be a never-ending learner. That's really our basic attitude. And that's a very important characteristic also in the world of today, nowadays, and also in the future. Because to be a continuous learner, a never-ending learner, means also to always ask for the basic questions. Basic questions are at the basis of any root cause, to look for the root cause, and also are the very useful answer that you can ask to question that you can ask to people in charge of technology, for example, because basic questions goes to the root of human needs. So coming back to my starting path in the field of design, I remember three main turning points in my path. The first one was about right after or during the university, and I've been charged about the project work, and I choose to work in the travel domain. And I remember that at that day, and it was around 2000, there was a very bad design, a very awful experiencing ticketing machine given by Trenitalia. And as a commuter, as a student commuting between different cities, I remember that I was always stuck in front of this kind of machine, trying to buy the right ticket in less time. I remember that it was the first time that I experienced the methods that I already use nowadays, working on the domain of design. And I also remember that few years later, a more professional company, a company more professional that I used to be, redesigned the same automated ticketing machine, hiring the level of user experience. And as far as I know, after 20 years, around 20 years, is still there. And it's a good sign. It's a good news, because it means that it has been designed in the proper way. What I can't imagine at that moment, it was about how the traveling world will change later on, starting from that days. And I'm not referring to the pandemic, of course, not yet, but I'm thinking about the set of features that we are able to use just in our pocket, just by using our phones, and the read of information that we can have nowadays aside our planning, our travel. So I just got a few lessons from that first starting point. And it was about how designing for a system means always design for a system of systems. So it means that when you pick up a challenge, and the dozen of teams of this UX challenge, for sure, they pick a challenge, they will give, they has given a challenge from the companies. And the most difficult thing for the never-ending learner, as the designer, is to be aware that your solution is just at the center of more complex systems, like for traveling domain, for example. The second turning point happens when I faced another domain. It has been the first time that I work in the banking and insurance domain. And the project was about the digitalization of mortgage process. What does it mean? It means that you have a bunch of very experienced people skilled in financial analysis that are in charge of evaluating your personal information in order to give their judgment about your credit rate. That's a very important thing because it's about the future, the present and the future of people. Because when you ask for a mortgage, it means that you have an investment to do, very important for your life. In that situation, I collaborate to design a platform for professional people for the first time. So coming from the B2C, from the consumer domain of people traveling, like me as a student, to the more professional domain of banking and insurance. And I learned other few things about how it's difficult and how much time and effort takes for a company to become really customer-centric, really oriented to customer. And when it happens, when you reach the point that you can really develop a service for the people, also companies increase their revenues according to this result. The third turning point happens when almost around 10 years ago, I was invited to enter a very close domain, the industrial one. And the industrial domain is particular because if somebody else don't let you in, don't let you enter the domain, you can't imagine how it's done, because it's a closed domain, it's a building, it's a plant, it's an industrial plant. So it's not like imagining or figuring out how he's traveling or working at the other side of the bank. It's much more complex. And it took me a few years really to become aware of the increasing role of information in industrial domain. What is important is that in the industrial world, even more than the consumer one, there is a rapid and enormous increasing of information. And this led us to the proliferation of screens, displays, reports, all kinds of information given to people, really challenging their cognitive abilities to processing this kind of information. So what me, as part of a team, what we experienced was a strong demand in adding technologies to help people to be more productive. And what we found was a kind of paradox. And we used to say, to name it, the productivity paradox. And it was about the fact that the technological stack that workers, that was given to the workers during the hours that they spent in the office or in the plant was on average really low in quality of user experience in comparison to what during the leisure times, for example, what other big tech brands like Google, Twitter, Facebook, or even Amazon are capable to give to the people. So the paradox is that in the place during the time that you are supposed to be more productive, you have a set of technologies or set of tools in general that don't let you be more productive, not as you can be in the leisure times. So I discovered another things, that there will be a lot of room, a huge room for improvement in the industrial domain. And that's why I also decided to be focused on this kind of domain. And I really decided to become a designer, a user-centered designer for this kind of domain, a business-to-business domain, a professional domain, when usually users are professional users. That means that they are trained, they studied, they are engineers, for example, or they are very technically skilled people, trained to be as much as productive as possible during the working days, but they can't. Paradoxically, it's very difficult for them. I bet that any one of you among the participants, but also among the audience, that has any experience with a productive environment can recognize this kind of solution. This is a very common example of a user interface of a very complex machine, as a tooling machine, for example, or automated packaging machines. And it's very common also to find this kind of smart redesign solution, like the one that you can read on the tape. So people ask to find this kind of shortcuts or redesign solution in order to make complex or complicated things more usable, more easy to use. So it was just the beginning, and there was so much to do as a room for improvement in this kind of fields. So I decided, along with my colleagues, to be more focused on this domain. So to bring the design-centered approach, the design thinking approach, bring it and put it on a specific domain. What we have done is more or less what the dozen of teams of the UX challenges are doing during this week. So basically, there is no secret sauce. The methods are the same that you can learn on the book, but the very difficult thing is to apply the right, to find the right set of methods applied to the specific domain of the production and manufacturing. So what we have done in the last 10 years, around 10 years, we did, and we are doing field research, contextual inquiry, for example, by collecting information about the real activity of people. So you can see one is my colleague and the other is a real user, a real operator aside the operator panel. Then we modelize the activity, the service, creating user journey, for example, as a user representation. Then we work on the contest, on the concept side. We use paper prototyping, and then we use rapid prototyping tool in order to create interactive prototyping to run a usability test before starting to create any, to write any line of code. And of course, we also work on what we call the surface of this huge iceberg that is a digital manufacturing or digital machinery project. Doing this, we collect a lot of information, we face a lot of challenges, and also thanks to really big and challenging and beautiful companies like IMA or SCM Group, or FICEP, we have been also rewarded with awards, international awards. So even this kind of design, this kind of industrial design, in the sense that it's really about the industry, is becoming more and more popular also among the companies. So it's an interesting and rewarding source of return on your investment if you gain an award in this kind of fields. We really worked on several kinds of digital application, coming from the human machine interface, that means the part of the digital application that is the maneuvering part of the machine, going to the CNC system, so the basic programming of the machine, arriving also to very new kind of experimentation about the drilling part. This is a very interesting startup incubating in the Polytechnic of Milano. It's called Springa, and I invited you to check this kind of companies. They are very smart guys, and they invented new solution for this kind of domain. And of course, we also work with companies coming from your local area. For example, Aquanil is for sure one of the companies that invest a lot in the circular economy, for example, in terms of raw materials and processes. So I learned again a few things. about design, as well as about data and innovation, that it's all about a process, it's all about a progression, it's all about a progressive path. And I'm not so old for sure, but I've been around in the design domain for around 20 years by now, and I must recognize that also design is in a track, in its own path to maturity, going at the beginning of the century, from the last century, as a design, as a craftsmanship. So working on static traditional products, going through design as interaction design, design of the experience, human experience, and design of business also. At the same way, companies interested in adopting design approach, design thinking approach, as well as user experience design approach, as to adopt design as a process. So gradually, in a progressive way, just by starting from small experimentation like design sprint that the 12 teams are performing in the last week. What's about the factory of the future? For sure, it's about design to me. And we have to let the design enter the factory domain, the industrial domain. Also because when we look for information about fictional realities, I mean narration, because about the future, you just can have narration, narratives. Mostly you find narratives about how technologies will emerge, how technology will shape the domain in the future. So you can find a lot of information about cobots, collaborative cobots, wearable in the shop floor, I mean in the environment of production, machine learning or any other form of artificial intelligence, of course, and displays and information, a lot of information, but for the sake of, to me, for the sake of technology in itself. What really lacks in the future, in the factory of the future, is a different kind of narrative that is about a factory that it is for sure more sustainable. It has to be more green, but also more transparent to people, to common people, but especially to people that will be able to design for the industrial domain, for designers. So to me, the factory of the future will be a crystal clear factory that let people enter the industry instead of putting them away. And today, to me, and I'm very, very happy to be part of this, today I can learn other few things, I'm really sure, because ideas will come from the pen and mind of the young designers. So thank you very much. This is my point of view at this moment about this complex domain.
Thank you so much, Daniele. Now it would be time for an applause. We just cannot do that. I tried to accommodate some virtual applauses, but apparently it's just not technically possible, at least with the setup that we have. So thank you very much, Daniele De Scia. Your talk helped us a lot, putting in perspective what we're doing here at the UX Challenge. You know, we're using the real methods that are utilized, that are used in the UX design industry. And also they can be utilized for tackling a very hard problem that involves manufacturing and other traditional industries. So UX design and the user-centered design is not just about designing, you know, consumer apps. So thank you so much, Daniele, for your talk. I remind all the connected people on our Hub Innovazione Trentino Facebook page, where we are streaming this event, that there will be a second keynote speech by Matteo Gratton, design advocate at Sketch, and the topic will be how to hire and be hired as a designer. And the talk from Matteo will take place around 4:30. So stay connected to get to know also the second keynote speech. So I'll go back to my own slides, which I'm going to share back again to show you the companies that were selected for the 4th edition of the UX Challenge. There are 12. They will soon be presented to you. I'll just tell you the name in alphabetical order: Active Pager, B0 or Notarify, Besser Vacuum, Boom Image Studio, CBA Informatica, Coges, Endu or Engagigo, Medical Tech, Novotik, Prime, TXC2, and Zupit. And of course, we thank very much these 12 companies for trusting HIT and the UX Challenge, along with, of course, all the solvers for having applied and participating to the initiative. Something that I didn't mention is that we actually received 36 applications to the UX Challenge, but only 12 could be involved in its execution. So again, thank you very much. Of course, the teams of solvers will be evaluated, and soon we are going to show you their own results, the videos that they have prepared for you, and they will be evaluated according to 6 evaluation criteria. Companies will evaluate the team on the basis of the potential business impact of results and on the feasibility of the results. The mentors will evaluate the teams on the basis of the ability to perform the activities and the effectiveness of the teamwork. And the experts, including the keynote speakers, will evaluate the teams right now on the basis of the innovativeness of the results and the completeness of the results. So the whole votation system is happening right now live. So we still don't know who is going to win. And companies and mentors already voted actually, but the experts will be voting while they will be seeing the video presentations. But now, before starting with the videos, let me show you possibly my favorite slide, which is plenty of nice and friendly faces of the mentors of the 2021 UX Challenge. They of course all are user experience design and human-computer interaction experts. Some of them work in research centers such as FBK. Some of them teach at the University of Trento. Some other work in UX design agencies, and some work in larger companies. Thank you all very much, mentors, because without you, probably the results wouldn't be with the same quality. And I can name them very quickly: Dario Betti from Soisi, Stefano Bussolon from University of Trento, Francesca Dalsaso from Fightbean, Nicolò De Uffici from Intesis, Luca Dinca from Belka, Chiara Leonardi from FBK, Paolo Massa from FBK, Nicole Nardelli from Pigmento, Gianluca Schiavo from FBK, Paolo Tonon from Tangiti, Eleonora Mencarini from FBK, Giulio Michelon from Belka, Valentina Molini from Unicredit, Federica Viero from T2E, and Elisa Zecchini from Tangiti. Thank you so much again. So that was my last slide, and now it's time to start to look into the final results of the 2021 UX Challenge. I will stop sharing my screen, and we will get ready to launch the videos of the companies and the teams. This is the way that this is going to happen. We will first show a short video from the company in describing the product and the challenge, and afterwards, right after, we will show the short video that the solvers have prepared describing and showing the results, which of course come in the form of interface mockup, interface wireframe, or also interactive prototypes. There will be 24 very short videos. They last only 2 or 3 minutes. And in between, we will also do a short break. So please stay connected. There will be a short break in about half an hour. And I will now give the floor to my colleagues to launch the first video.
Hi all, I'm Michele Vescovi and it's my pleasure to present Prime. Prime is a global player active since the last 30 years in IT. We born like a hardware company, but now we are focused on software and cloud. We create our products in Italy, in Trento, but we are also in UK and Spain, and we sell worldwide, where we have more than 1 million active products currently. Our mission is to provide complete endpoint solution to our customer of any kind and size, and to support their IT departments in scaling up with the management of heterogeneous and distributed infrastructure. Our products include 10 and 0 clients for standard and special application, operative system and agents to control single endpoints, and especially the centralized management solution, TeamMan. Our environment is fully able to support remote working and to integrate with virtualization and other hardware and software solutions. TeamMan is the core solution in our ecosystem. Whether our customers are health, manufacturing, finance, logistics, they all have the same issues. A lot of security issues arising, a lot of maintenance, and the need to support the workforce in smart working or spread around the world in different branches. So how to save time and effort and costs thanks to TeamMan? You can save up to the 70% in managing the whole infrastructure, and you also get a complete and real-time monitoring of everything happening in every single device in your infrastructure. You can also customize the way the different groups and users works and make your network and your infrastructure more secure. So how an IT admin with TeamMan works? He can see every single device or groups and offer remote assistance, send a dynamic configuration, update from remote any single workplaces. And thanks to our single clients, you can also add new features. So what is the challenge? Innovate the user experience of TeamMan. Make it more used and critical feature available for a web-based interaction. Turn TeamMan into an even more effective governance environment based on IT admin priorities. Empower them with a faster access to actions and to the more relevant information, and reinforce their confidence of control and stimulate administration proactivity.
So thank you very much, Michele Vescovi from Prime. That was the presentation from the first company. We picked companies in a random order. And as you might have seen, challenges are really challenging. So let's see what are the results from the first team, the team that worked on Prime challenge. I think that the name of the team is called RPE4_UX, whatever. There you go.
Hi everyone, this is RPI4_UX. Yeah, this is our team name. Now with this presentation, I'm gonna show you what we did during this amazing week. A firm came to us with some pretty clear objective. The first one was to transform TeamMan, their product, into a task-oriented app and renew the interface. The second one was to create a monitoring dashboard with an integrated notification system. We mapped the problem and we came up with some sketches, some first sketches, and then final version of the sketches. And with those, we end up with a prototype. Here you can see the program with the initial version and our version at the right. Here you can see only the dashboard, the landing page, but we implemented almost all the pages of the real initial version. And we use it with the testers. We had 2 testers that already knew TeamMan, and the other two didn't know this program yet. We test them in order to understand if the user first impact was good, if they were able to understand the buttons and carry out the tasks, and also to understand the effectiveness of some sections like the alerts. The results was very good. We have positive feedback from new and old users. They had positive feedback about dashboard and also the statistics. They said it's something that for them is very useful to have. And overall, they said that the graphics was cleaner than the older one and pretty intuitive to use. For the future developments, we suggest to create a customizable dashboard and to enter more details on our version. We also suggest to bring back the right button feature, because some of them think that it's still useful, to transform the alert partner into a drop-down menu, and some more design changes. For the next step, I think this was just one sprint and more work has to be done. That's design thinking. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much to team number one. We are seeing the videos now. We haven't seen the videos before now, because we received the videos around 12:30. So it was really a mission impossible. Thank you all so much to the teams for sending the videos. And as you may know, the results produced by the teams during this week will be will have been already shared actually with the companies, and the companies are in the position of fully exploiting the results, which are very tangible, such as interactive prototypes that you have seen in this first presentation. So without further ado, let's now go to the second company. The second company is called Boom Image Studio, and please let's run the second video from the second company. Okay, so of course that was the video from company Medical Tech, not from Boom. I got confused. Sorry, Medical Tech, and sorry, Boom. So we can have a look at the results that were developed by team number 2, also called the Blue X. so much to team number 2, Blue X, that worked on the challenge from medical tech. As you have understood already, all teams could carry out tests with, let's say, real people, real selected users that we at HAT outreached and involved in the UX challenge for the purpose of testing either the current version of the product or the prototypes developed by the solvers. So let's now see the presentation of the company Boom Image Studio, which was actually done by the solvers themselves. So you will see a presentation from the company done by the solvers, and after that, the presentation of their results.
Hello people, I'm Ananya Banerjee from Team Boomers, and here's a short description of the company that we are working with and their product that we are working with. So description of the product is that Boom, we are working with Boom, which is an Italian phototech startup that provides on-demand photographic solution at a scale for clients in over 80 countries currently. Boom's technology is based on proprietary order system platform which standardized the end-to-end photographic production cycle for global companies, allowing customer to order all the photographic services they need within few seconds and receive the finished order or the outcome in just 24 hours. Their mission is to transform the world of commercial photography, developing the world's most efficient photo logistic and fulfillment system in order to deliver online businesses their visual assets on demand in global market. The product that we had to work on is their calendar page, as it was getting less usable, especially by Boomers operator that have thousands of orders displayed on the page. Our goal or our task is to redesign or redefine the calendar view and its filter in order to make it more efficient and feasible for the Boom operators, in order for them to see at a glance the density of the orders for each day and comprehend in which state each order is.
The challenge to redesign the calendar, which is actually their order system, was addressed to us. This is a pic of the calendar highlighting the main issues to keep in mind, but we will come back onto this later. The way we interpreted the challenge can be summarized as a problem related to the representation of large amounts of information in a structured manner, so as to minimize hindrances in the Boom production team's daily tasks. We had to deal with the complexity of this data represented in time domain, keeping in mind the two keywords, clearness and efficiency. The two main pain points are the calendar itself being very crowded and the search functionality, which is not effective enough. In addition to this, we found other tiny details that put together can cause the user a number of problems. Do you remember this little chaos? So let's see how it could be changed. First of all, collapse the filter. It's cool because they are not so used. Second part is related to use the correct UI. Drop-down menu for the week, because the week is also the main used view for the calendar. The menu related to the status filter. Each event has a status, and there are several status. Moreover, the live ops team still use quite always the same 5 status. So we give the idea to provide them the possibility to group them, having all the status that they need in one filter, addressing it instantly. Another part is in the search. They need to use the search several times, and it's still complex for them because they can't do misspellings, they don't have the auto-completion. And as we've seen, we added also the possibility to see which category it is the word they are searching for, giving the hints to complete the word. Another part is related to the events themselves. You can pass over to open the mini card, then click, and it will open the next event. In this way, as we can rewatch, we can open this big event that such happened, rescheduling it before the users had the problem that basically they cannot follow the same order, having that change its status. Its status will become photographed match. With this solution, we suggest to keep the card open, giving in this way the possibility to reschedule the same event without having to go fast to refine the same event, move in the calendar.
Okay, thank you very much. Team number 3, the boomers. Maybe it was not really clear to you out there how tangible these results were, because we didn't have much time to introduce properly the product and the challenge. But consider that the company will be able to industrialize a further version, a new version of the product starting from Monday, basically. So this is really the aim of the UX challenge. Of course, the videos were recorded by the solvers, just two hours ago. So congratulations to the solvers for making it in the first place, because to get to the end of the UX challenge is a challenge in itself. So let's now proceed with the company number 4, Zupit. Please go ahead with the presentation.
Hi guys, I'm Lorenzo. I work in Zupit as a product owner along with other 24 great colleagues. We are based in Trento, but now we are work fully remote. But what does Zupit do? We design, we develop, and then maintain custom software solutions. And how we do it? We are an agile company that puts stakeholder involvement and UX design among our top priorities. We are 4 different development teams, and we handle so many projects at the same time. But now let's focus on the UX challenge and on the product. We could use a new tool to plan and manage all the resources to optimize time and effort on the other end. Right now, we use a Google Sheet file that was a quick and dirty solution to our needs. And let's face it, it is functional, but on the other hand, it is not as refined as a solution could be. Plus, Zupit is growing a lot lately, so planning all the resources is and will become more and more complex. In the end, a new tool with a new structure will be exactly what we need to face the complexity in planning. So, do you think you are up to the UX challenge? Bye guys, have fun!
Thank you so much to Zupit, software house from Trento. And now let's have a look at the results from the team whose name is Drops of Zupiter, I think.
Hi, we are Drops of Zupiter, and we are thrilled to be here today. We worked with Zupit, a company based in Trento, which is specialized in developing custom software. Our challenge consisted in creating a planning and management software tailored to the one-week sprint agile approach employed by Zupit. The company needs to be able to plan the work schedule of its employees based on a workday unit of measure. They need to assign employees to projects in order to always know what everyone is doing. The first step was mapping the problem space. We had a meeting with the people at Zupit to understand their current practices, their needs, and their expectations from us. They had already tried scheduling services available on the market, but none of them was suited for their workflow. They are therefore doing the planning on Excel, but they are now looking to build a custom software to be more efficient. We then started mapping the problem clearly through the how might we technique, which allowed us to identify what we wanted the product to offer. Then we created sketches to visualize our ideas and agreed on the most promising ones through dot voting. Zupit also participated in this activity and gave us valuable feedback. We then started prototyping our envisioned solution. The following discussion with the company helped us in correcting some of the assumptions regarding these different aspects of what Zupit expected and needed. We then continued refining the prototype. The main features we worked on are planning the work schedule of a team over the following weeks, showing available days for the team members, showing the status of the planning, confirmed or draft, and we prototype some more, but we unfortunately do not have the time to go over all of them now. Once the prototype was ready, we performed 4 usability tests with users. Overall, the tests showed that once the users get acquainted with the basic functionalities of the system, they are quite easily able to perform the tasks we planned. This phase allowed us to find flaws that we would not have been able to spot otherwise. For example, we received feedback on the location of some pieces of information in the UI, even though opinions varied quite much among the testers. We then tried fixing some of the issues that arose, but with the tight schedule of the challenge, some of them are unfortunately unsolved yet. We reported this in the open points section. Eventually, we still remained coherent to our original design. We believe that it can be a great starting point for Zupit to create the perfect custom solution to achieve efficient and convenient scheduling. We really enjoyed working with the Zupit team on this project. Thank you.
Thank you, Team Drops of Jupiter. As the solver here pointed out, the sprint is done by the solvers, but also the company take part, especially in the beginning, to contribute to map the problem, to define the challenge. And also this morning, the companies were present to get to know the results. But during the week, companies were there providing feedback and iteratively contributing to, a bit steering the design sprint process that was sort of provided as a service by the solver. But let's now have a look at the presentation of the 5th company, Corgi.
This is Corgi for UX Challenge 2021. Who is Corgi? Founded in 1977, it is the Italian market leader in vending, focused 100% on payment systems. We offer cash and cashless solutions since when we invented the famous chiavetta del caffè, or Corgi's My Key, here below. From the numbers you can see that Corgi is an Italian company that has an European foothold and that changed dramatically its perspective after COVID. While traditional products revenues plunged, we saw a boom of digital products. But what are our products? We traditionally make cashless systems, or hardware that orchestrate the sales process from the key to the badge to the banknotes or the coins that are inserted in a vending machine. Digital products are apps that virtualize the keys, IoT solutions, and credit card readers. But let's go to the challenge. The product we submit to the challenge is our app, the first app launched in the market 5 years ago. With a 77% churn rate and a 60% adoption when compared to the key, we cannot say that the app really boomed in these past 5 years. 3 competitors have similar results. So we thought, can we increase adoption and retention of our Pay for Vend app? Can an app be as easy to use as cash and My Keys? Or is the human vending machine interaction that gets cranky when the smartphone is in the middle? Shall we redesign the app then, or focus on other payment methods that are booming too, like credit cards? This is our challenge for UX Challenge 2021.
Thank you so much to Corgi. you might have understood that this year we really made an effort to involve companies that went well beyond software development. So thank you so much for these companies to having participated to the UX challenge. So now let's look into the results from team number 5, whose name is the Vending Machines.
Imagine you are the manager of a nationally renowned company that produces payment systems for vending machines, and you launch a smart paying app to make things fast and easy. Unfortunately, the road of UX design is an impervious path to tread, and your final product ends up having some design flaws which cause the app to have an 80% turn rate. Luckily for you, in this difficult situation, the vending machines are here to help you. Our team went through the design sprint with one and only target: reducing the turn rate by making the app more intuitive and efficient.
With our solution, as a first-time user, after a fast and intuitive registration, you only need to insert your phone number and the code you receive afterwards. You will be asked to insert your favorite payment method, which is not mandatory because you can always top up your machine with coins. After that, you will be asked to add some money to your wallet. Again, nothing. That's something that you can do later. After that, you'll have the chance to set the minimum budget. What does it mean? That you won't need to worry anymore about not being able to buy a coffee because you didn't keep track of your savings, because the app will do it for you. And as soon as you reach and you get below the chosen threshold, the app will automatically transfer money to your wallet. From here, when you will be all set, the only thing you'll need to do is put the phone close to the reader, let the NFC communication system do the magic. No connection, no Bluetooth.
First, people like the tap and go idea, but the NFC concept it's not tangible yet. Second, when it comes to charging the app, coins seem to be the least perceived option. Third, our idea of automatic charging was well received. Or, as one participant said, you won't waste time charging. And one more thing, this is not a dream. Fast and intuitive pay for vend is real. This is the Vending Machines.
Thank you so much to the team Vending Machines, or the Vending Machines, for the very good work and tangible results. And we will soon make a break, but before the break, we will see another presentation from another company. And this company is Active Pager.
Active Pager is a platform created by rescuers for rescuers. The goal is to help first responders during emergencies and in administrative tasks. We've been on the market for 6 years and we are about to reach the 7,000 users. There are more than 250 associations using Active Pager: firefighters, ambulance services, mountain rescues, and civil protection. Our users are based in Italy and Switzerland, and so far they managed more than 50,000 calls using Active Pager. Active Pager manages lots of functionalities: shifts, emergency calls, personnel management, checklists, training, and much more. We decided to join the UX challenge to solve 2 main issues: the complete redesign of the shifts and the creation of a new functionality to help rescuers in search and rescue operations. Managing shifts is a fundamental functionality. It's absolutely crucial for the emergency services to be able to plan ahead to ensure days and nights are covered properly. We need to display lots of data to the user in a simple and readable way. Unfortunately, at the moment, information is very fragmented and it's hard for the user to get a complete overview. Our second challenge is to create a set of functionalities to help rescuers during search and rescue operations. This is complicated for several reasons. Search and rescue missions can spread over several days, with teams changing over time. And there are several rescuers involved, and data has to be shared among all of them.
Very good. So that was the presentation from ActivePager, the company. And let us now see the results presented by the teams.
Good afternoon, everyone. We are Abdel, Anas, Emma, Francesca, Lorenzo, and Marco, Team 6 among us. The company assigned to us was ActivePager, that has developed an app and a connected web portal that helps voluntary groups such as firefighters to stay organized in uneventful times and to make their interventions more effective. This can happen thanks to the possibility to respond immediately to emergency calls by tablet or PC or smartphone through their app. Our challenge consisted in 2 different tasks. The first one involved the redesign of an existing feature of the app, whereas the second one requested the idealization of a brand new function. During the challenge, we went through 5 main steps. Step 1 was a long talk with the company, in which they explained their product to us. After this, we shared our notes in the form of how might we's. Step 2 and 3 included sketching and deciding a solution. In this step, we worked first individually, then converged and shared ideas. We then voted and decided the most suitable solutions to prototype. The first step consisted in the creation of the wireframes about our first challenge, concerning the calendar and shifts view. In step number 5, our prototype was tested by 4 users whom identified problems but also gave us some positive comments and advice. For example, they told us the app is very intuitive. From users' interview, we learned that the product is also showing a lot of potential for the future. The output of our 2 challenges consisted in a 50 wireframes prototype for challenge 1. For the second challenge, we created a detailed customer journey divided into 4 phases, such as alert, assignment, progress, and report. To conclude, we would like to thank Hub Innovazione Trentino for giving us the chance to participate to the 2021 UX Challenge, our mentor Francesca for being always there for us, but especially we would like to thank ActivePager for letting us work on a very interesting product, and for their availability to give us answers to our most various questions.
It is us that have to thank you very much, all solvers, to take part in the UX Challenge 21, because the results that we are seeing now and we are finding out about the results live are really relevant. So thank you very much. And by the way, it was possible to develop tangible results in only 4 days, because a lot of preparation work was done before with both solvers that were trained and also with the companies that were involved in a interaction with us and the mentors to define a so-called challenge brief, where we defined in detail what the challenge to be solved and the expected results should have been for the UX challenge. So again, thank you very much. Before entering the break, I just wanted to let you know that, again, we are streaming the event on the Facebook page of Hub Innovazione Trentino. Feel free to let your friends and colleagues know about the event. We are only halfway through this event, so more people can join from now on. So far, we have been having up to 150 participants connected, so thank you all very much. There is no upper bound limit, so feel free to spread the voice about this event. And you don't need a Facebook account to connect. You just need to go to the Facebook page of Hub Innovazione Trentino and you can follow the live stream. So we're now having a short break. 5 minutes will be, I think, more than enough. So be ready to go and grab a coffee or a tea. And I see you at 1 minute past 4 p.m. because we will start with the second round of presentations. And let's not forget that after the presentation, there will be the second keynote speech by Matteo Gratton. And of course, we will also communicate the winning teams. Thank you and see you in a while. So welcome back again. This is Nicola Doppio from Hub Innovazione Trentino. If you connected only now to this live stream, we are streaming the final event of the UX Challenge 2021 fourth edition. We are showing the videos that were recorded this morning from 12 teams of young design talents to respond and provide solutions to user experience design challenges that were casted by 12 digital and manufacturing companies. The teams of solvers worked the entire week, starting last Monday, to carry out a design sprint that delivered prototypes and user interface mockups and wireframes that were presented this morning from the teams to the companies. These results are fully exploitable by the companies. We expect them to industrialize and innovate a new version of their own products that were presented to the UX Challenge. And that's the reason why we do the UX Challenge, to accelerate the adoption of user experience design and user-centered design advanced methodologies in companies. And we do that with the help of students and young design talents that are supported by human-computer interactions researchers and UX design professionals, which of course we thank very much again for making this happen. So we're back from the break. We are half through the event. If you connected only now, be aware that we have presented already 6 of the companies and the related solutions developed by the teams. Now it's time to present the remaining 6 companies and 6 results from the team. In the meantime, the experts are evaluating what they see. As we already tell you, we are seeing these videos and these results live. We haven't had the chance to see them up front. So we are also learning about what the teams were capable of developing in the course of these 4 days. And we are very happy about what we are seeing, by the way. And these results are being evaluated. Companies and mentors evaluated already the results from the teams that they have been working with. And now the 3 experts, including the 2 keynote speakers, are doing the evaluation at this moment. So I just want to make sure that experts are actually evaluating the teams, and I'm looking here into the spreadsheet that we have shared with them, and I can see that some numbers are already flowing. Make sure you complete your evaluation before the beginning of the second keynote speech. Okay, so we can get started now with the company number 7. It's CBA or CBA Informatica, as we say in Italian. Please run the video.
Hi everyone, what about CBA Informatica? CBA Informatica is a company based in Rovereto and develops software for the social healthcare sector since 1975. The product that we have chosen for the challenge is Parla con Noi. Parla con Noi was created with the aim of improving the communication between healthcare professionals and relative patients in a retirement home. The relatives receive messages about the state of health, planning of activities, and many other information, enriched with photographs that contribute to keep the relationship alive. Communication is bilateral. The relatives can also dialogue with the healthcare professional and the elderly. In addition, they have the possibility to book their visiting structure. In fact, the product was later adapted with new ones useful functions to cope with the emergency situation COVID-19. There are 3 types of users: healthcare, professional, elderly, and relatives. What about the challenge? The challenge that we have given is improving the user experience of the system for the healthcare professional.
Thank you very much to CBI Informatica. And let's then see the video of the results developed by the team, which goes by the name of Ghost Testers. Wow.
We're the team Ghost Testers. We're Carlotta, Giorgia, Paolo, and Alessio. And the voice that you're hearing is Lynn. We work with CPI Informatica to improve Parla con Noi, an application to support communication between health technicians and relatives of nursing home patients. Our challenge was focused on easing the information sharing process for assistive personnel. We had the opportunity to run the current product by educators and volunteers. During the interview phase, we ran into some problems, but we succeeded in understanding the workers' jobs and needs. Too much information, lack of context, sharing the numbers of hours slept or whether the patient is lacking appetite, that could be alarming for a relative. And that has an impact on the work of the health technicians, who may receive frequent calls or requests for clarifications. We address that by designing an alternative means of sharing information. The health worker can now take a glance at the clinical data and send a text note to the relative's app, thus mediating the information with her knowledge of the context. For example, the fact that a new pharmacological therapy affects sleep and appetite. We also worked on the web app to change interface elements that could needlessly slow down the worker. For instance, we changed the layout of the home screen to offer a bird's eye view on the recent notifications. We hope that our design can empower the assistive personnel to choose the communication tools that they need in a specific situation, tailoring it to the guests and their families. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Team Ghost Testers. One important thing that we have introduced in the UX Challenge in Trento was the concept of the so-called reverse sprint. So in case a company presented to the challenge an existing product, and that's in fact most of the cases, and the company didn't have a too much specific challenge to be solved, what the teams do is actually to start from the tests. So normally the tests are carried out at the end of the design sprint because you want to test with real users the design solution, the prototypes that you have developed across the week. But sometimes we define in the challenge brief that it's good to start from the test, meaning to test the current as-is version of the product. And starting from what are the pain points of the usability that emerge from the tests, then the team carry out a ideation, design and prototyping work afterwards. So this was a case of a reverse sprint. And by the way, you might want to know that out of 12 design sprints, 5 were reverse sprints. So this is something very, relevant that we do. And a research paper was also written about this reverse sprint because it's something really new that we have introduced in Trento. So thank you so much to team and company number 7. Now it's time to switch to company number 8, which is Novotik.
Hello everyone, this is our team and we want to thank you for the opportunity to participate in this UX Challenge 2021. Novotik was born more than 20 years ago and manufactures adaptive, intelligent and simple system for industrial automation. We combine data analytics, robotics, cloud, traceability and logistics to build a winning factory system. The services we produce are mainly in the manufacturing area, operating in a wide range of sectors. We also offer our customer dedicated services for pre- and post-sales assistance and dedicated tools for the management of the system we provide.
The project for this challenge is about an assembly line that produces planetary gearboxes. The operator who works in this production line must interface with a technological complex system. The biggest challenge of this system was to make the operator's work as intuitive as possible, with the aim of training the user during work without making it boring, stressful, or uninvolving. Our first challenge we gave to the students was: how can the user interface train the operator during its use, and what tools can be provided to operators within the HMI software to give this type of skills? The second challenge was: how can the user interface encourage its use with the aim of optimizing and speeding up the processes of the operators? Thanks for listening.
Thank you very much, Novotik, for applying and participating to the UX Challenge. And thank you also to our partners, mainly Trentino Sviluppo and Confindustria Trento, that of course help us at HIT tapping into the productive ecosystem and look for and engage for the right companies that we think might benefit the most from the UX Challenge. So let's have a look at the results from team number 8, which is called the Novotik course.
For the UX Challenge, we were assigned to Novotik. Novotik is a company that projects and develops assembly lines for other companies. These include stations handled by robots and others by humans. The challenge that they gave us was not about a defined product, but regarded more abstract ideas about how to improve human-machine interaction. We needed to find a solution to make the training part about the use of the machines more efficient and fast. We defined our challenge through this question: how might we move the initial training with the machine currently done by the supervisor to the machine itself? We found this request very challenging, and this led us to think outside of the box, also because the part of the training isn't usually done by the machine, but by a human being. Now, we would like you to imagine being a factory worker. Your company has just bought new machinery and you will have to learn how to use it. Imagine we're using virtual reality to do the training session. You're now seeing the whole machinery. Some stations have robots inside, while others, like yours, are meant for workers. Now picture yourself doing some specific task that you see on the monitor. For example, as you see, here you need to build a gear. Whenever you do something right, you can visualize it on the screen, and when you're done, you can see a video that shows the right execution. Now, let's go back to reality. This time, imagine being physically in the factory in front of the machinery with some of your colleagues. Your training session can start. Each one of you will try to do the task that appears on the screen, while the others suggest what they think is best to do. After every worker has finished, you will see a video that shows the right execution. If you need more training, you can start over. Both types of training are focused on the learning by doing approach. The difference is that the first one is about individual training, while the second one is about collaboration among colleagues. During the testing phase, thanks to the testers' comments, we realized that the two options of training could also be combined in order to keep the strengths of both. On one hand, we have the possibility to try to do the same task as many times as we want, without adding any cost or risk. On the other hand, we have the importance of human contact and cooperation. From the Novotikers, that's all. Thank you all for listening.
Nicola, il microfono staccato. Microfono spento.
Whoops. Okay. Thank you, Massimo. Sorry about that. I was just commenting on the fact that challenges were very hard to tackle, as the one that you have seen right now. And we wanted to complement all the solvers from the UX Challenge 2021, because it was really hard to understand the products and the challenges in the first place early on this week on Monday morning, and to go through an entire design sprint during the week, including tests with real users. So now it would be time to go for a big applause to all the solvers. But unfortunately, we cannot do that. At least I didn't really manage to find out how I could do that here in Zoom. But let's now switch to the next company, being B0. The company B0 presents the product Notarify.
Hello everyone, my name is Federico Monti and I'm the founder and CEO of B0, a startup specialized in the development of smart solutions on blockchain, cloud and artificial intelligence. Our most famous brand is by far known as Notarify, a platform that you can imagine as a data room that allows you to notarize any document and even sign a contract remotely. Documents are uploaded to Notarify, enhance, improve their legal value, becoming, let's call it the official version of themselves, which can be used as evidence in the event of a dispute with other people with whom they have been shared, the file. The platform is very sophisticated, although it can be considered a much more powerful version of Dropbox or Google Drive, where every document, every single one uploaded, is as if it had been registered by a notary. Our goal with this challenge is to intervene on the existing version to find a way to better highlight their exclusive unique features, to make them more identifiable and accessible within the existing interface. We are also preparing to insert new features, such as customizable templates, in order to attract all the people who need a ready contract to be personalized with their data and have their counterpart sign. For example, estimates, price quotation, NDA, rental contract. So this is what we expect from the team that will have to follow us. Find the ideal design so that our flow becomes the best experience that the file manager has ever offered to its customer. Thank you, good luck.
Thank you so much, Federico from B0 Notarify. And thanks to all companies that made it to send their own short videos with a short notice, because we notified that only 2 days ago, basically. So again, that was a challenge for companies as well. So let's look into the results from team number 9, whose name is Phoenix.
Hello everyone, and thank you very much for joining us this event. Our group of 3 people is called Phoenix and consists of Muan Liu, Shaivi Rastogi, and Lisa Feldman. Notarify, our client, helps users with file management through timestamping document changes and certifying it on blockchain as a safety measure. On top of that, it offers users the possibility to use biometric confirmation for their and other parties' signature. After signing in on the website's homepage, users see their dashboard where all these actions are visible. For this user experience challenge, we were asked to improve the user experience of their current website and the platform. We made 3 assumptions that we saw could be improved, namely usability, understandability, and the conversion rate. On top of that, we were asked by the client to design a new feature to implement on the system called the contract generator. It is to make new contracts from contract templates. To increase our understanding, we conducted 4 user tests to test our assumptions on the platform and further define the key critical issues users were having when using this platform. Our 4 testers were all first-time users, which gave us insight into their goals and first impressions, which are very important because those help us explain the platform's low conversion rate. The testers' diverse background and technological knowledge further enriched our understanding. Over the course of 4 tasks, we wanted to analyze the user flow through the entire system. We did so via analyzing users' first impression of the landing page, secondly, observe the conversion from the landing page to the dashboard, the third task was to analyze the user's first impression of the dashboard. And finally, as the fourth task, we researched the usability and functionality of the dashboard itself. Based on our observations, users' feedback, and their behavior, we concluded 3 main issues of the platform. The platform's layout or design does not have a clear hierarchy and is redundant and repetitive and shows repetitive information. So users found it challenging to define the next steps when interested in using the platform. Secondly, key issues related to understandability by using many buzzwords like biometrics and blockchain caused confusion in users and often gave them the feeling that the system would be challenging to operate. Lastly, there were some technical issues on the website, but these are out of our control, so we're forwarded to the CEO to resolve them. From these insights, we created our goal, which is based on intuitive system, clearer hierarchy and layout, and creating a better seamless system in itself by guiding the user better through the entire system. Then let me now show you our prototype. First, we updated the landing page or the home page of the website itself by creating clear call to action buttons to increase the conversion rate. By clicking on it, we get into the dashboard where we decrease the number of items available in the menu here on the left by only showing the key features such as the signatures, the favorite documents, of course, all the documents itself, and the templates, which is the contact generator that I just mentioned. Let me just quickly show you the favorite documents itself, and the templates. Furthermore, we have a more menu storing all the additional options that we could have in the system for users. On top of that, we increase the hierarchy within the menu of the user. When opening up a document, such as you see here before us, here on the right, the menu has clubbed information all together and has an increased hierarchy by showing the most important information and goal on top. In general, if we go back to, for example, let's say templates to show the contact generator and click on invoice, there is a clear navigation through these entire systems and through the different options that there are within this system, which helps the users guide towards their goal and show easy and clear call to action buttons. Thank you very much for using it and have a lovely day.
Thank you so much to Team Phoenix. As you may have seen, in only 4 days, you can manage to get to very, not only tangible, but mature results, which will probably be very useful to the company to develop a further version of the product. And for that reason, companies should stay in touch with both solvers and the mentors. But of course, be aware that you cannot do design in 4 days. The goal of the UX challenge is really to open a window for companies to understand how user-centered design methods work, and also to get in touch with professionals such as designers or researchers that can really help them in delving into the UX challenge, the problem itself, and to develop real market-ready solutions. So to all companies, of course, feel free to stay in touch with solvers and mentors to keep on iterating on the results that were presented to you this morning. And to the evaluators, please notice that this video, it was longer than the 3 minutes that were allowed normally the solvers to utilize. So please keep that in mind when you will produce your evaluation. Thank you so much. It's now time to switch to the team number 10. The company number 10 is Endu or Engagigo.
Engagigo is an innovative startup founded in 2016 to develop Endu, a digital platform for the endurance sports market. Hundreds of thousands of athletes already joined our community and signed up for many of the competitions included in our database. Endu's mission is to be the benchmark for fans of endurance sports by creating products and services that are able to improve each athlete's experience before, during, and after a competition. One of them is EnduPix. With EnduPix, event participants get the photos from the race in record time on Endu's website and free app, fully respectful of their privacy. At present, we recognize that the purchasing process is too complicated and time-wasting. Our challenge is to decrease the number of steps, reassure users about privacy, and provide a consistent and more friendly experience. The photos can be liked or not, but we deeply believe that a better user experience can significantly affect our business's conversion rates. We are also open to innovative but at the same time sustainable ideas. We are looking forward to seeing our design sprint's results.
Thank you so much to Endu and Gajigo. So let's see the results developed by their own team. Yeah, go ahead.
Hello everybody, UXagon team here. We had the possibility, as you have just seen from the intro, to work with Endu. Endu is a company from Parma and we worked on its service EnduPix. EnduPix allow you to buy photos in which you are present. In fact, after participating in a race, it will be sufficient to connect to the EnduPix webpage, enter your bib number and you will find your photos. This service already exists, but the Endu managers asked us to innovate their EnduPix service, reducing the number of steps for purchasing photos and improving the user experience about the privacy. During our design thinking, we carried out a reverse sprint, performing the tests on the second day. From the test phase, we understood the issues, including presence of superfluous step during the purchase of the photo, little visible price list, the basket cannot be modified, lack of some useful buttons like select all, details of the photo. But now let's see how we redesign the web page, mobile version. We reached one goal of our prototype by splitting the EnduPix service from the main platform Endu, which was too confusing and didn't have an explicit purpose. Another secondary goal is to improve how the privacy policy is explained to the end user. We had to implement a more user-friendly approach using different techniques of UX writing. The content of the home screen of EnduPix was kept basically the same, therefore we had to reorganize the structure in a very significant way by introducing a new hierarchy of elements. Moreover, the search section of the website was totally redesigned by introducing the use of card elements that includes all the essential information regarding a particular event. Once the user clicked on a specific event, the following section appears and introduces the main feature, searching photos associated to the user's competition number. This allows one particular participant to see all the photos he is present in from that event. Regarding privacy policies, we added a two-factor authentication to make sure that only allowed people can access the photos. Once the process is verified, they are free to purchase any of the photos in the shop section. We made sure that the user has multiple ways to complete the payment, especially we added PayPal as a payment method, a feature suggested by most of the testers. As the payment is completed, the user will receive the selected pictures via email. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much, team UXagon. Again, is a bit striking to find out how mature results and also how well-produced video these teams could develop in only 4 days. And by the way, the videos were really developed this morning between 10:30 and 12:30. Again, we are seeing them live now as organizers, so we are really finding out live about the quality of the results that all the teams managed to achieve. So again, thank you so much to all solvers to take part in the challenge and to, also working overtime, because I remember that I was browsing through your Miro boards in the evening, and there were people working in the evening as well, although you were expected to work only in the mornings. So again, thank you so much for being professional and to take the challenge so seriously. Let's now have a look at company number 11. The company number 11 is TXC2.
Hello, my name is Chloe. I'm the CEO of TXC2, and we make repetition smart. Our company was founded just 6 months ago. However, we came the first place in the Demo Day competition. We already have interest from 4 different educational institutions, and we have won the financial support from Fondazione VRT, and we even have a paying customer, all this before the product launch. As you all know, the only way for us to learn is through repetition. However, the current solution we have in the market gives you 2 hours of video for 2 hours of lecture, which makes it impossible to repeat. It is no wonder an average student uses only 2.5% of the lecture videos. Our TXC2 uses artificial intelligence to make the repetition smart. Our system watches the real-time annotations made by the students, it analyzes the video and audio of the lecture, and we give you a personalized and summarized short video as well as links to other lectures based on the topics. Our objectives of the UX challenge is twofold. First of all, we'd like to improve the UX of the smartphone and web client, which student uses to make the real-time annotations during the lecture. Second of all, we'd like to design a prototype of the video viewing user interface where students come to watch their personalized and summarized video for repetition. Thank you.
Thank you so much, TXC2. As you may see, many of the selected products were very innovative. We have companies that have been focusing in developing technologies and will really benefit from a support in looking after the user interface. So let's have a look at the results from team number 11. The team is called UniX.
Have you ever been in an online class trying to take notes on a specific slide, but you also want to return to them afterwards, find them in those exact slides, and review them easily? Thanks to Daddy, all these things are possible. However, the tool still needed a more smooth and streamlined user experience. So during the UX challenge, we made it possible. We got through a 5-day design sprint. We started from the design brief with the company's goal, which was a simplified user experience for their tool. Based on that, we created 2 different user journeys, one for the online and one for the recorded lessons. Then we made some sketches of our ideas, and the best ones were used for the prototype. So let's go through the mockup. In our prototype, we divided the lectures in live lectures and recorded one. In the live lectures, there was one single button for two functions. We decided to split it into the two different functions. So the first is pin the moment for the bookmarks, in which I can choose which one, which color, and how important my annotation is, and select the color, type something, and save it. Here I have the confirmation. In the other button, I can ask a question. This question is typed in the same box. Later, I can send it to the professor and to the entire class. On the other hand, we have the recorded lectures. Here I can navigate through all the bookmarks I made and find them by name, filter them from the checkbox, and also show the most relevant topics that the AI recognized. Here I have a button to select and watch the summary of this lesson. In this section, I can find a related video about the same topics were mentioned in the lesson. The topics are recognized by the AI and allows me to review older topics and older lessons.
Thank you very much, team UniX, team number 11. So we are getting very close to the end of the presentations. We have presented already 11 companies as well as results from the teams of the solvers. And soon it will be time to know who are the winning teams, first, second, and third of the UX Challenge 2021. And in the meantime, I can see here in our shared spreadsheet that we have with the experts, including the two keynote speakers that are providing their own evaluations on the 11 teams that they have already seen. So now it's time to see the presentation of the last company and the last team, Besser Vacuum.
Besser Vacuum is based in Lignano and produces machinery and consumables for packaging, the HoReCa sector and the food industry. The brand new line of high-end professional vacuum packaging machine that will replace the current professional line is a physical machine used for vacuum packaging in high-level catering that will be equipped with a new IoT touch display with advanced functionality like automatic setting of program based on the type of food, self-diagnosis, cloud connection for HACCP3 traceability. The company wishes to propose a complete restyling of the product, includes its user interface, currently based on physical buttons and liquid crystal display. The goal is to create an attractive and user-friendly novel touch screen-based user interface in order to make it easier to use the machine even by less experienced or untrained user. Users should be able to perform all the functionalities that the company will describe by meaning their stories. This includes the setup process, the record in the cloud, the data useful for HACCP traceability through the self-diagnosis of the machinery, prevent breakdowns, schedule annual maintenance in order to avoid machine downtime and damage. The expected output was the interactive wireframe or prototype of a newly designed digital user interface, including the main user flow of the various functionalities. The main user was a chef, restaurants, operator in food industry, delicatessens, supermarkets, takeaway shops. And the customers was a restaurant, chef, supermarket chain, grocery store, and delicatessen, small food producer, ham factory, butchery, dairy, take ham, and catering. The use case is the product is used in a vacuum self food in order to prolong its conversation without adding prevents. And it's used in case to storage and transport of food. It works independently or as part in the cook or chill process.
Thank you so much to team number 12, whose name was Robux, for the presentation. So the presentations are now finished. And in case you have connected only now, as we are streaming this event live on the Hub Innovazione Trentino Facebook page, this is the final event of the UX Challenge 2021. The UX Challenge is an innovation contest that connects companies with young design talents and researchers and UX designers that can help companies in adopting the user-centered design methods. But now that I'm looking into the agenda, I see that we still have to see the actual presentation of the team, because in this case, the product was not presented by the company itself, Besser Vacuum, but was presented by the team. So now we are going to see the actual results developed by the team Robux that worked on the challenge presented by Besser Vacuum. So go ahead, please, with the video with the results.
Our goal was to resolve the main problem and understand if non-experts and expert users were able to use the interface of a vacuum packing machine having a quite small screen. To be more realistic, as you can see, we decided to compare our 4.3-inch screen with some common display sites like an iPhone X, that is 5.8-inch. The first step was to create a simple map that allows us to group the functionalities in order to simplify the flow and have a better user experience. Analyzing the data, we found some problems like the position of the display on the low part of the machine that could be uncomfortable, or the dimensions of the keyboard in one small screen. Even if the interviewed users were not expert in the use of a vacuum machine, they reached correctly the required tasks. And this was the confirmation for us that our solution to the problem works well. We think that an app integration could be a good tip. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Team Robux, from working on the challenge presented by company number 12, Besser Vacuum. As I was said, if you have connected only now, we are streaming the results of the teams that took part to the UX Challenge 2021. That is the 4th edition. The UX Challenge 21 is not taking place only in Trento, Italy, but it's being replicated across Europe in other 6 countries. In fact, right about yesterday, there was the final event of the UX Challenge Oulu in northern Finland, and the same event will take place in the forthcoming weeks also in Estonia, Lithuania, Germany, Denmark, and Spain. And this is due to Project 200 SME Challenge that was granted by the European Commission to Hub Innovazione Trentino to carry out a large evaluation study of the impact that the UX Challenge can have on companies, especially on small, medium enterprises, because of course we expect to see an increase of knowledge and awareness about the benefits of user-centered design methodologies in the companies participating to the UX Challenge. So thank you all very much again to the companies, the solvers, and the mentors of the UX Challenge 2021. It will soon be time to know who will be the winning teams. There will be one winning team and then also a second and a third place. And all the teams and the team members will be awarded different prizes, and all these prizes regard learning opportunities in the realm of course, UX design and human-computer interaction at large. So before looking into the results of the evaluation of the 3 experts, which are now, I hope, wrapping up their own results. I will very warmly give the floor to our second keynote speaker, Matteo Gratton, who works as design advocate at Sketch, and he will touch upon the topic of how to hire and get hired as a designer. Matteo, thanks so much for joining us. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Nicola. Thank you very much. Just let me share the screen and start the presentation. Okay, perfect. So first of all, thanks to Nicola and HIT for inviting me. But overall, I want to thank all the participants that really nailed and exposed the value of a design approach to analyze, organize, and solve, I don't know, real user problems, real challenges. And I know how hard it is. And I will also not forget to thank the mentors, as I know how their work was hard because I've been a mentor myself in the past edition. So yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. And actually, starting from mentoring, mentoring was the basic of my presentation. So it starts from my experience as a mentor. Last year, I mentored more or less 60 people, among them more or less 40 were junior designers just looking for the first job opportunity. And I think this is a topic super interesting, and the attendees today are both the sides, junior designers or designers in general, and the companies. And to me, this is a super important topic. I will start with this. To me, the hiring process is more or less, particularly in the design domain, is broken for many, many reasons, and mistakes are made by both companies and designers. And I want to try to analyze them, and I want to try to give my personal view on how to manage the hiring process from both sides. First of all, we start with the companies. The first problem, and this is something that we all know, is that job descriptions usually are too generic or even unrealistic. As an example, if we say, okay, you have to be able to design something, or also to be able to code, to also be able to talk with customers, to do make research, etc., etc. This is something that is super generic. Everyone can apply to that role. And sometimes they are also unrealistic. I found, and we found, plenty of job descriptions where it is required to be able to use a tool and have been a user of some tool for, I don't know, 20 years when the tool was born 10 years ago or something like that, which actually make us laugh. So the first problem is about job descriptions. And the second one is that plenty of times the recruiter don't know the design domain. Both internal recruiter and external recruiter, they often are shooting in a pile, just selecting candidates with personal feeling approaches. But in order to hire a designer, you have to go very in depth and understand the domain. The third problem, and it happened plenty of times to me as well, is that there are interview tasks. I'm actually agnostic about them. I will talk about the tasks later on as well. But often they are used to as an unpaid work. I found my design that I create for a task in an application used on the website of a company that never replied to me, which is ethically bad. And another thing that to me it doesn't make sense is like the first evaluation and selection of curriculums or resumes based on when you are based, often are managed by both, or it seems that they are managed by both. And the actual replies you receive as a candidate looks like managed by both. It happened to me that I'm an expert in the pro audio industry. I've been working for 5 years in with big pro audio products, and a company that managed those things rejected my application after 5 minutes. I applied saying, you don't have enough experience in the domain, which didn't make sense to me at all. And the last one is ignore the return of investment of the hiring process. Hiring the right person is costly, but the return of investment on that is high. And the more in depth you are going through the process, the more likely you will have a big return of your investment. And then I'm also going to see the other side, our side, my side as designers. Actually, just to mention that I've been both, someone that hired people and someone that has been hired. So I experienced both the sides. The first problem that as designers, but more or less everyone in the world at the moment is falling into this problem, is that we are using labels or tags to express ourselves and to show companies who we are, like I'm an expert, I'm a founder, I'm a CEO, I'm a CDO, when actually sometimes it's not, and many times it's not. And this is like a linkidification of our job descriptions. But then we also suffer from imposter syndrome with Make Us Laugh as well. And in this way, we are also selling what we are not. And plenty of times we are falling into the problem of expose ourselves as UX designer, particularly as if you are a UX designer, a UX researcher, or service designer, etc. We are still falling into the more focus on visual presentation rather than the actual process, rather than what we actually are doing, and which is not helpful for people to understand what your skills are. And plenty of times this happens. Also, recruiters are asking designers to leave out also relevant background information when you present your CV or when you present yourself. If you know how to code, show it, please. So what is the hiring process? It's actually a process, but it is bidirectional. Remember that as a company, I'm hiring someone. As a candidate, I'm investigating the company. I'm trying to understand the company. I'm evaluating the company as well. Assess your needs. What are your needs as a company? What kind of designer do you need? What are your needs as a designer? What kind of designer would I want to be? And very related with that is assess the future of his role. Before writing the job description, we have to assess what is the process of the role, what is going to happen with the role, what is with the new employee that I'm going to hire. And the last one is be kind. Reply personally, reply personally to every candidate. And if you wrote the job description properly, you probably will not receive 1 million of application. Usually, even if maybe if you're working with Google, even if you are writing the right job description, we'll receive 1 million candidates, but this is not the usual case. But also from our side as designers, we can be kind and reply. And many times I had recruiter and hiring managers to tailor their research after they rejected me. And this is something we have to give feedback. We require feedback as designers every single time. We have to give feedback to the companies, to the hiring managers, to the recruiters. So what can we do? What we need to do as a company? We have to remember that the customer experience, particularly in this case of our employee, starts here. From finding the role on the web, somewhere else, looking at your website, following the application process. Actually, far too often, I found a process that required me to spend so much time just to put the information you require that doesn't make sense to me. And I will talk with other designers, and other designers will know about you as a company, starting from what I feel and I felt when I was trying to apply for a job. Be honest about who you are as a company. Do not write that you are the best company in the world as a whole. You will have good things, for sure. All the companies got good things. And those are the things that should be seen and visible from the candidates, but not everything is perfect. If you create too much expectations, this could be a starting place for a failure in the future, because the candidate will arrive with that kind of expectation, and then that will not be fulfilled. Tailor the job description. I already mentioned that so many times, to what you really need. If you don't know, ask an expert. There are experts. There are designer experts, not only me, a lot of other experts. Plenty of times it happens that they are willing to help for free as well, just as a free consultant. Ask if you don't know what you need. I think that during this week, the companies that were seeing the teams working understood what and how the design can work. But having a designer inside a company is not easy. Plan it is not easy. So if this is the first designer you have to hire, ask someone. They can help. This is important. Ask the candidate only for what is relevant for the job, not a bit more. I don't think that, I don't know, gender, ethnicity, religion are a matter, right? It doesn't matter about how old I am or about my presence. What it matters is what I am able to do. So ask me what you need, not asking me more. And this is related with data, with ethic, etc. And finally, require tasks only when it is necessary. Sometimes I did require tasks, but I tailored them, and I also make them in a way that the candidate understood that they were not usable for me as unpaid work, that they were actually in their properties, and I was not requiring them too much work. If you really, 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 really need a long and difficult task, pay for it. It is possible. I know companies that are doing that. And yeah, and be ethical with the task outputs as well. So don't use them on a website, as it happened to me. Tips for companies, I have to run because it's quite late. Assess your design maturity. Try to understand where you are. There are different design maturity models. You can find them on the web, but try to understand where you are, how you understand design before hiring someone. Involve the team. Whenever I involve the team and I share the responsibilities with the team of the hiring, the results were very, very good. And the retention of the new employee was higher, and the team work was better, and et cetera, et cetera. So try to involve the team. It is expensive, yes. The results are a lot better. So the return of investment of the time is a lot higher. At least this is my experience. And headhunt. Try to find the right person by yourself, not only ask someone to send the CVs and look at that. There are a lot of options to find people around. Us as designers, think about what we want to do. Do we want to be a visual designer, a UI designer, which is different, a UX designer, a UX researcher, a service designer, or do we want to be everything, an holistic designer, someone that is doing everything? You have to choose what you want to be. As a junior, it's probably more easier to start with one specific thing, but at some point you will find your way. But think about it consciously, please. And be honest again. The company should be honest, and we should be honest about who we are. Don't say we are super expert or founder or CEOs, etc., etc. Particularly, don't say we are a founder if we are a founder of our personal website, as it happens many times. I received a lot of CVs with that. Add all the possible relevant information in your CV, when we can find information in LinkedIn, in your website, wherever. Do you know how to code? Write it. Are you a tech event organizer? Write it. Did you teach people to do something in a professional way? Write it. Did you work as a waitress or a waiter? Do not write it, please, because this is not so relevant. But the soft skills are useful, are important, and we have to know them. And remember that a company is evaluating you. Some people are evaluating you, but you must evaluate them as well. You have to understand the company where you can work with. Ask questions, investigate, do a user research job. You are a designer, and because of that, treat your CV and portfolio as a design project. Company hunting, which is important. Find a company. Daniele De Cia mentioned that before. Know those names, find them, have a look at them, have a look at the world that is around them, etc., etc. Find the right companies for you, and connect with people and learn. Other designers and experts are a source of knowledge. Ask for a mentorship. Ask. Do not fall in the sorry, I lost my focus. Look what the others are doing around you and ahead you, because you can see how other designers are working. From that you can understand what you want to and what you don't want to, and what is good for you and what is not, etc., etc. And again, do not fall in the pitfall of being a visual perfectionist again, because this is not all about our job. Takeaways, sorry, super quick because I'm late. Make the process easy for both sides. Write a job description that is consistent with the role and the expectation. Apply to reasonable job as designer. Do not apply to a job for, I don't know, being a leader if this is your first job. It happened to me as well to find people that were applying for that. Use expert knowledge if you're not an expert. For both sides, ask a mentor, ask someone else to help you to write a job description, to find the right people, to interview them with you. Applies the job that suits you, and ask questions. Thank you all, and remember to be kind. Thank you, Nicola.
Thank you so much, Matteo. I'll try to make an applause now. Thank you very much to both Matteo and Daniele, because we always include these keynote speeches in our final event of all our challenges, because we really want to make the best for all participants to put into perspective what they are doing. This is not just about doing a fun event 1 week or 2 days. This is really about entering a market, trying to include new skills, transferring skills from academia and from experts into the company. And it is not an easy job. The company and the students, they have to make many steps towards making this happen. So we're very glad that we have been having peaks of 150 people connected. Now it's basically time to wrap it up. We are a bit delayed on schedule, so please bear with us for like 10 minutes more, not more than that. We will soon communicate the results of the winning teams of the 2021 UX Challenge. And in order to do that, let me share again my screen. In the meantime, I would like to have all the speakers and also Massimo Zancanaro from University of Trento joining here at Zoom. So please do switch off your camera. Thank you so much, especially to Massimo Zancanaro, who was heavily involved at the very beginning of the initiative in 2017, where we actually decided how to make that happen. I remember that day when I entered Massimo's office and he showed me the design sprint book. I didn't know about it, to be honest. And that's where we decided to have a design sprint challenge, basically. So thanks a lot, Massimo, to be still here. So it means that it's making sense throughout the year. So let me pull up my slides very quickly. I'm sharing my screen. Yeah, no, wait a second. Just bear with me. Okay. Yes, almost there. Yeah, that's the slide that I need to show. That's it. So this slide, very quick, it's to recap what were the evaluation criteria. that underwent all the teams. Of course, we evaluated not the companies, but the teams. The first two criteria were used by the companies: potential business impact of results and feasibility of results. The third and fourth criteria were utilized by the mentors: ability to perform the sprint and the effectiveness of the teamwork. And the fifth and sixth criteria were utilized by the three experts: innovativeness of the results and completeness of the results. So we are soon going to communicate which will be the first three winning teams that will win the 1 year of professional membership at the Interaction Design Foundation for the first as the first prize. The second prize will be the access to the online library of seminars on UX topics for 3 months from All You Can Learn. And the third prize will be accessing the streaming videos of the UX conference, which will take place in London in March 2021. So these are the winning the prizes. But again, before disclosing the winning teams, let me show you again possibly my favorite slide of this deck, which is the slide that nicely show you all the mentors that were involved in the 2021 edition of the UX Challenge. We went through the names already. They either work in research centers, they might teach at the University of Trento. Some of them work as UX designers in leading UX design agencies well beyond Trentino. And some work in corporate, some other work in tech transfer institutions, and some work as entrepreneurs. So again, thank you so much for being part of this innovation contest, because without the mentors, it would really be hard to achieve the results that you have seen presented this afternoon. Okay, so now it's time to disclose the results of the evaluation of the companies, the mentors, and the experts, okay? So, unfortunately, I don't have any music here to play, and again, there will be applauses missing, so feel free to applause at home or wherever you are. But we can start communicating the first, actually the third team. But of course, let's keep in mind that the reason why, and we also have done some, evaluation on these, the reason why solvers take part to our own challenges is not really to win the prizes, but it's to learn and to get in touch with the companies that might end up hiring them, sorry, right after the end of the challenge. And that is what normally happens. Companies end up in hiring solvers, or in, launching internships, or, master theses and other types of collaborations, possibly involving also research centers and the university. So let's make that happen. Of course, we do the UX challenge for you just to start, to get a process started. So the next steps, of course, will be to stay in touch with both solvers and mentors to industrialize the results that were presented this afternoon. All right, so let's stop talking. Let's communicate the third team. And the third team is it's team number 8, Novotikers, that worked on the challenge that was presented by Novotik. So congratulations to the team Novotikers. Of course, it's not that the company Novotik placed third. I just put the logo for you to understand which team and which project are winning. So again, congratulations to team Novotikers. And by the way, something that I forgot to say is that after we will disclose the actual winning team, so the team positioning on the first place, we will ask those team members, as well as the company and the mentors, to join the Zoom call. So if you're still there, because you might, be busy at this time, I don't know, please feel free to join us at the Zoom call. I'm speaking about the team that will place in the #1 position. Okay, so be ready. You have the Zoom link already. It's the same Zoom link, by the way, that we have been using throughout the week for the morning plenary sessions. Okay, so that was for the team #3. Team placed on the 3rd position. So let's discover the team placed in the 2nd position. Drums roll. And the team placed in the 2nd position is team number 10, Hexagon, which is positioned as #2. So congratulations to team number 10, Hexagon. You placed as a 2nd team. Very good job. Okay. But now it's time to communicate the winning team. And again, I remind you that all the members of the winning team will receive a free access to a professional membership at the Interaction Design Foundation online design school. So this is about online training in human-computer interaction methodologies. And the first prize goes to team UniX, which is the team number 11 that worked on the challenge presented by TXC2. So applause to team UniX, and also applause to the other 2 teams, Novotikers, that worked on challenge sent by Novotik, and team Hexagon on challenge presented by NiEW. Congratulations, of course, to all the teams. I was looking into the scoring provided by the experts as well as by the companies. They were very close. We were, looking into the points and the half scores to come up with these final 3 names. So congratulations to all the teams. But now, while we wait for the team members, so please, members of team 11, do join us in the Zoom call, and also team the mentors, and if they're still there, and the company TXC2, please join us here in the Zoom meeting. I would like, while we wait for them, I would like to give the floor to Massimo Zancanaro for shortly commenting on what he has seen, especially the presentations this afternoon. What do you think about these presentations, Massimo? Massimo, we cannot hear you. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Nicola. It is always a pleasure for me to be part of the UX Challenge.
Massimo, your connection is bad. I saw that you have switched off your camera.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, the audio comes and goes. Now it should be better. Let's try now without the camera.
Yes. Okay, it's better. Okay, is it better now?
Let's try. Not very sure about it, but let's try. Unfortunately, I think Massimo dropped it. So I would give the floor again to Daniele and Matteo to shortly comment about the results. Daniele, would you like to start? you were not expected to comment on the results, so I'm not sure you have, prepared anything.
Okay, I can say something, but I can't start my video. Anyway, I've been really surprised because it's really tough. Okay, now I can. I can say it's really tough. It's a really tough work in just 5 weeks to create a team.
That's 5 days, by the way.
It's really a tough work. Create a team, understand the domain, understand the client, let's say, build up an idea and put together something valuable. Very difficult. So in some cases, some teams really outstand from the others. Mute.
Sorry, Massimo. Thank you so much, Daniele. We can see you now, Massimo. Would you like to say anything? Hopefully the connection will work.
Okay. Can you also hear me?
Maybe it's better that you switch off your camera because it's not really working. The audio is not really working.
What?
Okay, try now.
Still no?
Not really. Not really. We know that you don't, if you are at home, we know that you don't really live in the very city center, let's put it like that. So maybe you might have now some connection problems, but...
Is it now better?
No, it's not better. Yeah, I'm sorry. So maybe we should now give the floor very quickly to the winning teams. So anybody from the winning teams would like to say anything about their own experience? Anybody from the winning team, feel free to switch on your camera and say something. There's people looking at you.
Okay, maybe I can say something. Well, it's been
Very
quite a
shortly.
week. Yeah, it's been quite a week, as you may imagine, and we're very happy and surprised about the results. I mean, we gave everything that we had during this week, so I mean, we won in the end. So I'm very proud of what we did, and I just want to say thanks to everyone in the team and to the mentors, of course, and to you who actually allowed us to be part of this very interesting challenge. Like, it was, I can see like the importance of this challenge in the future, because this was for many of us the first design project, the first real design project, and I think I can speak on behalf of everyone, and we are very proud of this achievement. So thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, Roberto. Anybody else? Comments?
Yeah, I'd like to thank my team, and also it was a hell of a week. It was really stressful, but we had a lot of fun too, and staying up all night to change a little connection in the prototype. It was intense, but also the company was really available at any time, and it was a great job.
Yeah, me too. So I can say also thank you to the company and to HIT and all the partners which allowed us to participate in this challenge. It has been really a funny challenge, and we had a lot of fun, but we also learned a lot, and we are really happy for the result, but especially for helping our company to improve their platforms, so that we hope to see in the future our interfaces on their application. So thank you to all.
Thank you very much, Ginevra. Maybe there was, yeah, go ahead.
Something. I want to thank our mentors for leading us toward this path, also for the collaboration of and the presence of the company presenters, and also, I think it was really challenging. I mean, it was like a marathon for us, because we work on the project day and night, usually even after midnight. So it was a really great experience. Thank you for everyone, our teammates.
Thank you, Hossein. Anybody else there? I think I can see Valentina, the mentor. Would you all like to switch on your camera so that we can take a snapshot all together, like a picture?
Yeah, I'm not able to start the camera. This is Chloe.
Can we help Chloe start the
Try
camera?
now, Chloe.
Yeah,
Okay.
now it works. And by the way, I'm bringing the congratulations from Massimo Zancanaro, which for some reasons couldn't really get connected, but still we can see you now in the face, Massimo.
I can't
so much.
access the video as well. Sorry, Matteo.
So let's see whether we can switch on the video
Now?
for Matteo. Yeah.
Okay, great. So
And maybe, and also I would like to ask my colleagues, Giulia Napolitano and Vesna Misic from HIT, to switch on their own camera if they can, because they are handling the whole thing, and it has been very challenging for them as well. So thanks a lot to Giulia and to Vesna for making this happen, because I mean, it took like 3 people full time for many weeks to make this happen. So again, thank you so much, Vesna and Giulia. But yeah, I think that is it. I'm trying to take a snapshot here of this nice picture. We've had up to 150 people connected to the live stream. We are very glad that all the teams made it to the final event. That was not taken for granted. You know, it's a real challenge for some teams, especially those that they are facing very difficult products and very difficult challenges, but everybody made it to the end. So again, thank you so much for participating to the UX Challenge. You shall now stay in touch with the companies to keep on, you know, iterating if you wish on the results. Feel free to find the best mean to make that happen. It's of course up to the company to offer, you know, any proposal to both the solvers and the mentors. And speaking about mentors, I also would like to remind that this team was also mentored by Stefano Bussolon. Stefano is not here connected because he's currently teaching. So thanks a lot, Stefano, for being part of the mentors team. So I think that's it. I would like to thank again all our partners at HIT of the UX Challenge, which are of course the University of Trento, but also Fondazione Bruno Kessler, Trentino Sviluppo, Confindustria Trento, Istituto Artigianelli, the C-Lab. We didn't want to, of course, host the UX Challenge 2021 at the Contamination Lab because it doesn't really sound like a safe place where to be over these days, but we hope to go back to the Contamination Lab in the next future once the emergency will be over. And also thanks to the Digital Innovation Hub at Trentino Alto Adige Sul Tirol, and also to our supporters, UX Dolomiti Book Club, Associazione Architecta, the clusters Ditedi and Comet, and Polo Tecnologico CSMT from Brescia. I think that's it. Again, thank you all very much. Stay in touch. Most likely the UX Challenge will take place next year as well. You might want to look up what's going on in the other countries that will organize the UX Challenge over the next week. We are very proud of this event. We are really connecting a lot of young talents with many companies that need to incorporate this kind of know-how and new design methods. So we really hope that we will keep it up in the future. Thank you all very much. And I would say see you next year. Bye-bye.